Hello and welcome. Thank you for choosing to spend some time with us. At the National Association of Women in Construction, otherwise known as NAWIC or NAWIC, depending on your accent, we welcome women in construction and their allies from all walks of life, cultures, ages, and stages in their career. NAWIC works to champion this diverse collective of great people doing great things in the construction industry. More specifically, NAWIC's Diversity and Inclusion Portfolio is focused on breaking down barriers, raising awareness, and creating opportunities for the least represented women within our industry. We hope that by sharing diverse stories in diverse ways, that we can empower, inform, and inspire not only people within our industry, but those hoping to join us. I am your host, Rachael Sharp, and I am looking forward to bringing you this story. Welcome to the NAWIC Couch. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you. So I'm Chloe Hite and I'm an electrician. I just want to say thank you so much for inviting me here.
Of course.
I feel so honoured to be speaking with you.
How long have you been an electrician for?
So I did my apprenticeship and I've been qualified for about just over 2.5 years. 7.5 all up. So yeah, sounds like a long time when you put it that way, but I feel like I just started yesterday really.
So we're here today to talk about construction, diversity and inclusion, and of course you and your story. So what is something you think people need to know about you to understand who you are as a person?
In school, I had no idea what I wanted to do. And it wasn't till towards the end of year 12, Mum was like, come on, you really need to, find out what you want to do or, find a career path. And it pretty much came from word of mouth and just people talking to people that I met my boss that I did my apprenticeship with. Just in a conversation one day, met him and he pretty much said, I've had other females do an apprenticeship before in the electrical industry. Why don't you come out and do work experience? So I was like, sure, got nothing to lose. Like I may as well try it. Always loved the idea of doing something hands-on, tools related, but I guess I never thought of doing anything like that just because I never knew any other females that were in the trade industry. And I guess it's not that common, which is unfortunate. But I did work experience. I absolutely loved it. And once I finished school, he invited me to start an apprenticeship if I wanted. And I was like, amazing. Like I may as well. You're learning on the job. So did my apprenticeship and here I am today.
Yeah, that is quite unusual to go down that path and get there in that kind of way, I think. I'm interested to know, you said you were always wanting to do a hands-on type of job.
Yeah.
What sorts of jobs were you thinking fit that criteria for you?
Honestly, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was thinking I did a fitness course in year 10 just to have that, just because I thought that was easy. If I got out of school, I was, enjoy doing fitness. But that was kind of just like a backup plan. But honestly, then I was thinking about doing midwifery, but I wasn't really passionate about that. It was just kind of something to do. And it wasn't until I fell into a conversation and actually had someone tell me, you can do an apprenticeship just because you're a female. It doesn't change anything. So yeah, and I guess I'd seen my brothers and my dad grow up on the tools and I loved being there watching them. But yeah, I never really thought that I could do anything like that. So never, thought about going down that path until someone actually asked me.
When you said to your family and your brothers, I'm thinking of doing an apprenticeship, what did they say to you?
Oh, they were so impressed. They were like, good on you. Like, that's so great that, you're going into a trade. So,
because they had worked in trades, your brothers, they're carpenters. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Did they give you any warnings or discourage you in any way, or was it all positivity?
It was pretty positive. I guess I've been pretty fortunate throughout my apprenticeship. I think times have definitely changed. And I've been treated really, really well throughout my whole apprenticeship. But I work with people now that have females that have been in the trade 20 years and have almost given up just because the way they've been treated and that. So I think I've been pretty lucky. And it's definitely getting better as the years go on and more females become, tradies and that. It definitely helps.
It's good to hear that you've had such a good experience
Yeah,
in the
definitely.
industry and had a nice time in your journey, I guess, through the trades. Was there ever a moment where you weren't sure if you wanted to continue with it?
100%. I guess from the start, sometimes you go through times and you don't think you're good enough. I guess everyone experiences that. But yeah, there was definitely times when I wanted to give up or, it was hard. But I had enough support around me that I was able to make it through. And I guess if you ask for support as well at trade school, if you're willing to learn and if you're passionate about it, then you'll make it.
Yeah. What was your trade school experience like?
Oh, my trade school experience was really good. I had great lecturers and that. But again, I didn't go to trade school with any females. So I guess that was pretty daunting. And I think towards the end of my trade school, one female lecturer had just started. And so I was really excited to see another female. But yeah, before that, literally no females. So didn't even know of any other female electricians or tradies in general. So yeah.
Did you feel like you were treated differently at that trade school or on any of your work sites since?
No, I've been treated pretty well the whole way through. I guess I'm pretty easy and outgoing. So I was able to get along with, the males that I worked with. So yeah, I guess I got that respect back.
So you picked electrician. Do you think if you'd have had a conversation with someone else about another trade apprenticeship that you were just as likely to do that one? Or was there something that really drew you to being a sparky?
I guess maybe I would have thought about going into another trade if I had the conversation. But I guess I'm pretty happy that I chose to be an electrician just because it's, I guess, not as much heavy lifting. It's more using your brain and thinking. And it's problem solving, which is something that I love doing from day to day. So, yeah.
Do you think there's anything different or unique about your childhood and your upbringing that meant that you were sort of thinking about hands-on jobs and going into trades and that made that pathway something that you really considered for yourself?
I guess just growing up with older brothers to look up to and having a dad that was always hands-on and that type of thing. Yeah, I guess that's probably helped in the path that I decided to take. So,
how did your friends react when you told them you were doing an apprenticeship?
They thought it was great because I used to joke in high school saying I want to, be a tradie. I want to do this, do that. But I obviously never thought that it would come true that I'd actually do that. So yeah, I think they're pretty proud that they can say, oh, one of my best friends was an electrician. So yeah.
Yeah, get you over to wire up some things in their house for them.
Yeah.
That's very cool. What do you think some of the biggest misconceptions about you and your job have been that you've faced?
Well, I guess I don't, probably behind, in front of the camera, I wouldn't look like your typical tradie, very different in these clothes compared to high vis. So I guess people almost don't think you could do your job. And I'm small, so if things are tight or, something's heavy, they may look at me and think that I won't be able to do it. But I can do my job and I'm fairly good at my job, I'd say. Yeah, I just get in there and if I can't do it one way, then I'll find another way to do it. So if you're passionate about something and you want to do it, then you'll find a way to do it.
Yeah, you were saying something to me about how if you needed to get something to get more leverage or that it actually makes it easier for you when you have to go into tight spaces in ceilings.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There was times where I would struggle if I couldn't undo something but I found a bigger tool to work for me or use something to lift something up or, and yeah, it's definitely a bonus crawling in roof spaces being small.
Do you feel like you have been sent up there to do that more because you're the little one?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to climb around and get the job done, so...
You started in housing and commercial, didn't you, when you did your apprenticeship?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
So is it second year apprentice that you start going out by yourself?
More so third and fourth year. Yeah.
So you're turning up to houses to do these jobs.
Yeah.
Did you ever have any clients or people going, who's this?
100%. This one particular time, so we would be on call every few weeks, and it was my turn to be on call. And I think that day I had an engagement or I'd had something on. So I had makeup on, eyeliner, and my hair was done. And I walked into this store and with my tools in one hand, my ladder in the other. And they kind of looked at me and I could tell that they were like, "You're really coming in to fix my oven," or whatever it was. And then I got in there, got the job done pretty quickly, walked out, came back, spoke to them, and they were like, "We really didn't think you were coming in to fix our equipment." So yeah, I guess that's kind of a confidence booster when you can prove them wrong.
In that moment, do you say anything to them or do you just kind of laugh it off?
Oh, I kind of just laugh it off.
Yeah. Is it because you can't be bothered or don't want to engage in those conversations, or you just don't think it matters?
I don't really take things to heart, but I almost can't be bothered either. It's just easier laughing it off and moving on.
Yeah. Have you worked with training your own apprentices now that you're fully qualified and
Yeah, I have.
passing that on? How do you find that?
I think it's so rewarding. I guess I put myself in their shoes. Like I was there when I was, a young 18-year-old, didn't know anything, was it's pretty daunting when you first start. So I guess it's just nice being able to help them learn and to see them grow, I guess. So, yeah.
I'm going to get my book because I've got a big thing to read now. I asked you about what you would like to use your voice to platform, and you said something that I loved, and it was, "It's amazing to be a woman in the trade industry, and I would love to inspire other females to get into the trade industry, but I would also love to inspire other young males that may not think they are good enough or smart enough. If you're passionate and willing to put the effort in, then you can do it." So I'm interested to know, with that quote from you, if you think that self-doubt holds people back from going into trades, and why do you think that is?
If you're not good enough and you don't have the people behind you to support you, then of course you're not going to, take that step.
So in your quote, you had said about people not feeling like they were good enough or smart enough to be in trades. And I'm wondering if have you had conversations with people about that in terms of them being hesitant to go into trades because of that self-doubt element?
Yeah, definitely. So back when it was towards the end of my apprenticeship, I did a lot of work in fast food joints. So there was young kids working there every day. And I guess I had a few of the females speak to me about doing a trade because they were, a bit unsure about it. So it was nice to just be that person that they could kind of look up to, I guess. And yeah, I guess I had the conversation. It was just like, if you want to do it, then just go for it. Yeah, you've got nothing to lose, really.
Do you feel like you've inspired people to go into trades themselves?
Probably.
I think you probably have.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I probably don't see it firsthand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I would probably inspire people. Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, I think it's rewarding for me that I've done something for someone's career or life. So
something else you said to me was, I always wanted to do a trade but thought it was so far-fetched. Why did you think that?
Like I said, I used to joke at school saying that like, yeah, I'm going to be a tradie. I guess I just never, because I never knew any other females or other women in the industry, I never thought about doing it. So yeah, I did think it was far-fetched.
What attracted you to that tradie lifestyle? Was it that hands-on element or?
After I'd been at school, I didn't really want to go to uni and study full-time. I loved the idea of doing a job, learning on the job, and also getting paid at the same time. So that's a nice bonus. So,
yeah.
And then at the end of your 4 years, you qualified and you have the job. So yeah, I guess that's what really stuck out to me.
And you have all that experience under your belt and the
it.
practicality. Have you ever had anyone suggest that going into trades is a plan B because you either didn't get into a uni course or some other thing?
Yeah, I think to an extent. I guess if it wasn't for my boss, it would have been a plan B for me. I would have probably gone to uni, done something that I didn't love, probably ended up deferring or, So yeah, definitely could be a plan B. Yeah.
If you could choose it all again, would it be a plan A?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I love going to work every day and being an electrician. It's amazing.
What do you love about it?
I guess I love that I can help people. And it's really rewarding when you do fix something or, turn something on for the first time. It's so rewarding. It's a great achievement to know that you did it from start to finish.
Is it something you can see yourself doing for a long time?
Yeah, definitely. And I think also being able to work with apprentices, that's also really rewarding. So even if it was nothing else and it was just teaching other people, then yeah, I'd love doing that.
Maybe you'd get to be a female lecturer at one time and perhaps there'd be women in the course and you'd come in and they'd be really excited that you're coming in as a female lecturer.
I hope that's something that I can do for someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think would surprise people about your job?
What do you mean by that?
So I guess if I'm going to stereotype electricians, I would think the people who come in to fix my air conditioning or make the lights work and things like that. What is things that you get to be involved in and get to do that wouldn't come to people's minds straight away, do you think?
So I work in an industrial role these days. So my company abates methane from the environment. So I guess no one would think of that. Like before I even started this job, I had no idea about methane in the environment, how it's bad. You just don't think of it. So we actually use the methane and regenerate it back into electricity. So I guess that's rewarding for, the community and the planet and that. And it's helping people because I guess we're putting electricity back into the grid. We can live day to day. So
yeah. Because what's very clear to me and what you've brought up multiple times in this conversation is about helping people and giving back.
Yeah.
And I think people probably wouldn't say, oh, I'll be an electrician with a strong community and give back focus. But that sounds exactly like what you've crafted for yourself and that you get a lot of fulfillment out of it.
100%. I guess back in the day when I did do domestic work and commercial work, you'd go to a job and you'd finish your day feeling good because you could help people. You got their equipment back up and running and they were grateful that you could help them. And so I guess it is helping people.
It is.
From day to day. So
it is actually a very service-based job.
Yeah, 100%.
The more that I'm actually thinking about it. And I work in construction. So I'm like, hang on a minute.
Yeah. I guess my role at my last job, it wasn't just building houses and wiring up houses. It was more service work. So you did get to go to multiple people's houses each day and help multiple people. And I guess it's also a confidence booster when you do fix something and they're happy and grateful.
So tell me about travel for your work. So you've been overseas.
I have. So I never thought ever that I would be able to, go overseas for work. So, the start of this year, I went to New Zealand to work at a site over there. Didn't have my passport, so never had travelled overseas. So it was, an amazing experience just to get to see another country while I was working. So,
and getting to do that, travel, meet the different people and how it works in other places.
That's it. I guess a lot of being an electrician in the industry that I'm in, you meet so many different people and so many different cultural backgrounds, and it really opens your eyes. I guess when I was, just out of school, didn't have much confidence, wasn't really great at talking to people, but throughout my apprenticeship and, talking to customers really just builds your communication, I guess, and how to speak to people and,
Would you say that communication and those people skills element is almost as much of a part of your job as the technical hands-on skills?
Yeah, definitely. You need to be able to communicate and be good at communicating for people to want you to work for them. So definitely.
I think trades can sometimes get an unfair stereotype that it's just physical work and you don't have to talk to people and you just do your own thing. But I don't think I've come across a trade ever where they haven't had to have those really good interpersonal skills and the communication, because you're talking about what their problems are and how you're going to work through it and what they need it to look like. It's, you can't.
That's for sure. And you have to discuss and communicate with your customer so they know what you're doing. So, it's definitely a big part of being a tradie.
Yeah. Do you think there's much diversity in trades other than just gender? We know that that's quite low, but do you think there's more cultural diversity, or do you think it's skewed one way? And
it's probably definitely skewed one way. But I guess it doesn't matter what race you are or if you're female or male. We're all equal. So it's as long as you are passionate and wanting to foresee that trade, then go for it. It needs to be more diverse.
Yes,
definitely.
What do you think increasing the diversity brings to the trade?
Well, I guess everyone has different experiences, and all of your experiences from being younger and growing up, it all helps. And I guess there's not one way of doing something. So I guess that's how, if you're working with, different people and that, I guess a lot of my apprenticeship was working with multiple different people, and you learn what works best for you from picking up techniques from different people. So I guess that's a big part.
Is there anything that you would like to see change in construction?
I guess these days we're lacking people in the trade industry. And I guess that stems back from the younger generation, and I guess not teaching them, but allowing them to be aware of the trade industry and I guess the benefits of it. And I guess if I had have met more tradies, female tradies, it probably would have helped me to make my decision quicker. So I guess more awareness just leading up to decision making in high school, because they push so much in high school in like year 8 and 9. You have to know what you want to do, but you don't know what you want to do.
Have you gone back to your high school to talk about your career?
No, I actually haven't, but that would be a really good idea. Yeah.
So you have a lot of nieces and nephews. Do they know what you do, and do you talk about it with them?
Yeah, I guess some of them are a little bit young, but the older ones, they know I'm an electrician. I guess it's just normal for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess a few times I've said like, oh, I want to be like you. So it's nice to, be that role model.
Do you think it's becoming more normalised for kids of that age to think more laterally about different types of career options and consider that it could be for them?
I think definitely. I guess back in the day, it was very like tradie is a male dominated industry. Like it wasn't, you didn't see many females and it wasn't pushed to have females. But it's a lot more common these days and it's a lot more normal, I would say. It's more normalised. I think by the time they grow up, it'll be normal.
Yeah.
And there'll be probably one female tradie to one male tradie, you know?
I hope so. I feel like a lot of people would have to come in and study and stay in the industry for that to happen. But we can hope. Have you worked with more women more recently? Because you mentioned there wasn't really any in your apprenticeship.
Towards the end of my apprenticeship, very, very end, I worked with one female apprentice and that was just so good because the whole time I'd always been with males and it was just nice to have another female to work with. But yeah, so since I've moved companies, there's a few females. So one female in particular has been in the trade for over 20 years. And it's just so good she's an inspiration to me. I look up to her and I've got another female apprentice now. So it is just nice to have more females in the industry.
How did your female apprentice come to work with you?
She was actually already there.
Okay.
I don't really know her story of how she got into it. I think she just applied through like peer and that. But yeah, I guess she would have had inspiration to look in that avenue.
I always find it so interesting how people got into it because like you said, there's normally some kind of trigger or inspiration or
definitely.
Key person that helped facilitate you getting to that place because it isn't something that would appear on the list of jobs that people typically would be choosing from at that year 8 or 9 level when they're expected to decide their entire futures.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess at school, it's not really pushed on the females that much. So I think that would be like tracing back to the question that you asked me. I think just having more awareness in school would definitely be to, I guess, push for more females to, go into a trade industry.
Yeah, so. I agree with you. I wonder what do you think is a good way to engage students with it? Do you think it's just going in and talking and saying, this is my job, this is what I do, or is it different types of classes where they're a bit more hands-on and you try things? Like what can we actually do to help that awareness in schools, do you think?
I think to go in and to speak to students, that would probably be the best way to get across to them and just to, I guess, have that inspiration or someone to look up to. Like I'm just a normal everyday person. So if they can see that, then that might help them to make their decision to move into the trade industry.
Yeah. Well, I think we should get you in some schools. Talking to people, inspiring the youth.
Definitely.
Is there anything else that you would like to talk about your job or your journey or lessons you've learned?
I guess just to really point across that, like when I first started, I was a young 18-year-old, shy, didn't have much confidence. But coming into this industry, you just learn so many skills. And yeah, I'm just proud to be an electrician and I hope that people watching this will be inspired to, get into the industry.
I'm sure they will be. Well, thank you so much for your time, Chloe.
Thanks
really
for having me.
Anytime. This conversation was recorded and produced on Kaurna land. We pay our respects to the traditional owners of this land and waterways, as well as the elders, past, present and emerging. We extend this respect to all Indigenous peoples of this continent and its adjacent lands, recognising their cultures as the oldest continuous living cultures in human history. We recognise the deep spiritual connections and relationship Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people have with community, as well as the lands, oceans, waterways, air and sky. We acknowledge the land we live, work and play on always was and always will be Aboriginal land.